You wake up with one thought. What if you only had 30 days? No more planning paralysis. No more waiting for the perfect moment. Just 30 days, one mission. This is the sprint that teaches you what matters, and what doesn't. Level 1. Clarity. Day 1 to 3. You strip everything away. No shiny ideas. No emotional baggage. One real customer. Who are they? What pain do they feel at 2 a.m.? How would your solution make that pain disappear? You set the outcome. Not become rich. Not change lives. A measurable result in 30 days. Revenue goal. Customer count. A single KPI. You name it. And you commit. Level 2. Focus. Day 4 to 7. You decide what you will not do. You draw a circle and throw everything else away. This is brutal, but freeing. You pick one channel. One offer. One message. You sketch the customer journey, discover, decide, pay, get value. You craft the simplest pitch. No jargon. No feature lists. Real language. You practice saying it aloud. If it doesn't make sense in one breath, you simplify. Then you set up the infrastructure that actually matters. A landing page. A checkout. A way to deliver. Nothing fancy. Fast. Reliable. Testable. Level 3. Prototype and ship. Day 8 to 13. You stop designing perfection. You build a usable promise. MVP isn't a product. It's a promise you can keep. You create the smallest thing that can be shown, bought, and used. A live page. A downloadable file. A calendar booking. A group with gated access. You show it to real people. You feel your heart race. That's good. You set a launch date. You tell people. Not to boast. But to test whether you can move them. You ship. And you watch. Level 4. Validate fast. Day 14 to 20. Numbers are kind in their honesty. You track clicks, signups, and money. You ask 2 questions. Are people interested? Are they willing to pay? If yes, you double down. If no, you pivot with humility. You talk to customers. Short calls. Honest listening. You record what they actually say. Not what you hope they want. You fix the core friction immediately. Checkout confusing? Fix it. Onboarding too long? Shorten it. You run one experiment at a time. Small bets. Fast feedback. You repeat. You learn. Level 5. Systems and muscle. Day 21 to 26. Now you scale what works. You automate the repeatable. Payment, delivery, follow-up. You create a simple onboarding sequence. 1 email a day for 3 days. A checklist. A quick win. You build routines. Daily outreach. Daily content. Daily follow-ups. You decide your rhythm. What you post. Where you show up. How often you ask for the sale. You keep the human touch. Because systems without care feel hollow. You hire small, if needed. A freelance VA for admin. A designer for one critical asset. Not a team. A few hands that scale your attention. Level 6. Growth with intent. Day 27 to 29. You analyze the math. Customer acquisition cost. Lifetime value. Top performing channel. You double the channel that works. Not everything gets doubled. You invest where the ROI is clear. You deepen value for early customers. Upsells that feel like a natural next step. Referrals that reward real fans. You keep friction low. You polish the corners that matter. Support, access, repeatability. Small improvements compound quickly now. Day 29 ends with momentum. Not perfection. Momentum. Level 7. Reflect and plan. Day 30. You look back without judgment. What did you learn? What surprised you? What costs you can cut? Which offers to keep? Which channels to kill? You set the next 90 days. Bigger, but still focused. You keep the KPI you tested. You raise the bar. Not by adding noise. By doubling down on what worked. You map hires, tools, and partnerships. You write a note to yourself. What you promised on day 1. Did you keep it? If yes, celebrate. If not, be curious, not cruel. You made decisions under pressure. Your clarity is now your compass. Closing. 30 days doesn't give you a finish line. It gives you a framework. Speed reveals truth. Limits create discipline. You learned the shortest path from idea to evidence. You built muscle for decisions. You learned to ship. To listen. To improve. This is how small businesses stop being fantasies. They become systems. They become livelihoods. They become something that grows even when you're not screaming at 2 a.m. A few final truths. 1. Customers are merciful if you solve a real problem. 2. Revenue feedback is the fastest curriculum. 3. Clarity trumps complexity every time. You don't need a perfect product. You need a product that people use and pay for. You don't need a massive audience. You need the right first customers. You don't need more time. You need better constraints. Now take a breath. You have 30 days. What will you do with them? Start tomorrow. Not someday. You are the main character here. Not of a movie, but of a business that will learn, adapt, and last. You begin, you learn, you scale. 1 month at a time. 1 honest metric at a time. Lights on. You move.